story. So the Senate stays the same. The House of Representatives stays the same, despite the fact that we could not add another Republican candidate, that our own Matt Doheny. And, man, I tell you what, speaking of which, one, I don't think Channel 7 should have left that camera on all night long and not tell anybody. Because it was very unfair. I was watching that live link online last night, and at first I thought it was amusing, but afterwards I actually was going to call several people. I was going to call Chuck Ruggiero and say, Chuck, you look good tonight because I see you more than anyone. Apparently there was a television set above the camera. That's what Sharon and I could speculate, because people would walk up to the live camera. And, people, one guy was eating a sandwich for like 20 minutes. Another guy looked like, I forget his name, but he looked like the father from Back to the Future, Mr. McFly. With that wicked hairdo, with shaved on the right side. That's what he looked like. But I don't think he wanted to be on camera as much as he wanted to either. And then there was some, ridiculous interviews from 7, too, that made my God, you got $1 million technology hooking you up from between here and Plattsburgh and Bellow Avenue, and yet you got nothing for substance. Nothing. I was very disappointed in that. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just talking about the coverage last night. News Junkie did great. 7 did great. I just wish they just told people that camera was live because it was pretty incriminating, if you ask me. And other than that, and I was talking about Matt Doheny. His speech, just like Mitt Romney's, was so well done. It wasn't any backlash, wasn't any sour grapes. He says we fell short, but everyone in this room, not because people didn't work hard enough. And listening to the Duff Man's description of Matt Doheny's work ethic, and that he really wanted this. There's no question. You don't run and not want it. But not only did Matt want it, he showed it big time. He doesn't need a $200,000 a year job as congressman. He doesn't need that. It's not there for that reason. And I think the Duff Man described that. But for him, it's a humbling experience. It's not something that someone who puts a lot of time and his own money into wants to experience. But if there was one guy that actually embraced the situation, no one did it any better than our own Matt Doheny. And I just want to, say kudos to you. I know at this point you say you're out of politics. Bear in mind, there was a famous person by the name of Richard Milhouse Nixon who said the same thing. So the day after or moments after you realize that you're not going to be our congressman, that might be the inclination, man. I understand that. And I can understand why you feel that way. I bet you everyone else does. But please think about that, because anything can happen. And you have proven that you are, in fact, a leader, a guy who came from humble starts in Alex Bay and came up short twice. But you did get there a little closer than you did the first time. It's a shame, but you handled it very, very well. Mitt Romney, I thought, handled it very, very well. That's just the type of guy he is. But when it comes right down to it is, the demographics have changed. There's a lot of people who really are not necessarily a part of the whole, I guess you could say, ethnic minority in America, but they side with that. So whether or not that's gay America, whether or not that's I don't know, a lot of Midwest women who love watching Oprah Winfrey over the years. I don't know, because a lot of women went for Obama. There's no question about it. But what is done cannot be undone, and we move on. And I hope there will be no type of issues in Congress. Although something tells me Boehner is going to be Boehner, McCaskill is going to be McCaskill. If I get his name right, I might be getting it incorrect in the Senate there. I apologize. But now is the time to reach over the aisle and finally take care of business, regardless of where you stand. Because this is ridiculous. This really is. And something tells me, they could say, Boehner today said he's going to extend his reach and work things out on Capitol Hill. That's easier said than done. I just hope that it really does happen. As far as Israel is concerned, that does become an even bigger issue in my book, the Iranian issue. Of course, the whole aspect about energy and whether or not the Keystone Project can actually ever happen, or for that matter, if we can just kind of like relieve the restriction on drilling on offshore, in the United States, and for that matter in the Gulf of Mexico. I hope that can happen. My gut feeling is it's not going to happen. But we'll just have to wait and see. 755-1240 is the number. 755-1240 is the number. You're on the air.
Yo.
What's happening?
Well, I thought the election was over. You guys are still arguing about it. My God.
Duff, man, it's been less than 24 hours.
Oh, I know, but jeepers creepers, that's all been hashed out. Look.
Are you going to have that attitude about it? I get on the air the day after the biggest election day of our year, and I'm not supposed to talk about it, Duff, man?
No, you can talk about it. I'm saying you're talking about issues that were relevant to the campaign. And, of course, Mitt Romney never said anything about waterboarding. But anyway.
It was brought up, so I figured I'd talk about it.
Yeah, I know. I think it was the stock market was very indicative of what we look forward to for the next 4 years.
Yeah, that's right, because that stock market is run by a bunch of white guys. They don't know any better.
Well,
they're the one percenters. They're all on high on cocaine, and they got mistresses on Friday nights. I can guarantee it. That's the type of people. That's Wall Street. Yeah, they're just mad. They're going to be regulated now. Sorry. Go ahead. Duffman, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just waiting for you to get down. I didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, I know. I just want to reiterate what I said before. I think that we missed out. I mean, Jefferson County voted for Matt, and
barely.
Other counties. Yeah, he won Jefferson County. He won Lewis County. He lost in St. Lawrence.
Big time.
He won other counties. They was closer than you think, Glenn.
All those professors up there, those liberal professors.
He didn't lose by much. Let's put it that way.
He lost by 5,000 votes.
Hardest working candidate I've ever worked on.
I don't deny that. Every time I see him, even when he's standing still, he's doing something. The guy can't stop doing something.
He would have worked really hard for this area, and I think he would have done a lot. He had a business acumen that is second to none. I think Mitt Romney would have done a fantastic job with this country and helped pay down the deficit and got us on the right track. But you know what? We got what we got, so we gotta get behind this guy. Hopefully, give him the benefit of the doubt. He said he learned from the campaign. Let's give him a few months and see what he does.
No, of course.
But here's the reality of the thing, and if they want to sound political.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that are going to be coming down in the next year, and all the people that voted for him, just remember, that's what you wanted.
When does Obamacare is slowly but surely taking effect, sure. And it will take effect in his second year of his term in 2014.
No, it takes a lot of it. Some of it takes effect next year.
Okay, but for the most part, 2013. Okay, so for the first 2 years of his second term, Obamacare is solidified. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's no turning it back now. There's no turning it back now. It's already been through all the...
Now, I'm not going to take the Rush Limbaugh stance.
We got what we got. But here's my prediction, and take it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But in the next 2 years, and I hope that Bill Owens and his people, one of his people are listening because he's local.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not listening. Go ahead.
Talk to Bill Owens and tell him, look, you can't let these hospitals go down in the rural areas because that's all those people have.
Right.
And with this...
Yeah, especially when you need a transfusion with your own blood type.
Medical center, which will be Samaritan, and that's it. We're lucky because it's right here.
Right.
But if you thought it was hard to get doctors to come to this area now, you're going to cut their pay, you're going to cut the amount of reimbursement to the hospitals.
Sure.
You don't think that that's going to have a negative effect?
Well, that's my question, though, Duffman. And again, I don't want to take the Rush Limbaugh. I don't want to take his stance like he did 4 years ago by just saying I want Barack Obama to fail to prove that.
No, I don't want him to fail.
I don't want to do that either because that doesn't help me. That doesn't help you. That doesn't help the bottom line of this company or any other company.
The suggestion, Glenn, that look at that you might have overthought this somewhat, but in our area, in rural areas where it's hard to get doctors as it is,
yeah.
You can't pay them less money, and you can't reimburse hospitals that are struggling less,
right?
Because they're taking in a large percentage
sure.
of Medicaid and Medicare people,
right?
So they don't have the resources like you have in a big city,
right? Man, neither do we, by the way, if you haven't noticed. I don't care how much money we throw into that hospital.
Exactly.
9 out of 9 people that get into an accident or out 81 aren't even sent to Samaritan, for crying out loud. We don't have enough care, period, not just the rural areas of Governor and Alex Bay. I predict in the next 5 to 10 years, all rural hospitals, 80% of them will be gone anyway. But don't worry about it, Duffman. We'll just have to get better ambulance drivers to drive really fast.
Yeah, I guess. Well, anyway, good luck to everybody that won, and I just hope that Mr. Owens, Congressman Owens, says he's a moderate. Well, when you go this time, I'd appreciate the fact that maybe you look out for your constituents here and vote for our concerns and not for the concerns of Nancy Pelosi. That's what I would hope.
There you go.
And
very well said.
I hope the president looks at the other half of the country and says, hey, you know what? It was a close race. In some races, I only won by 15,000 votes, which is close in these swing states.
Right.
It wasn't a landslide by any means.
No, but you know what? It's only close in the horseshoes. So he's.
No, I know, but I'm just hoping that he realizes that there's a part of the country there that had some legitimate concerns.
No,
maybe they
no, Duff Man, and I know you're going to agree with me because I know you're just trying to be a nice guy. I understand that. We know he's a lame duck president. We know that his ego has been stroked. He's going to say whatever he wants to say in an acceptance speech. He actually called Mitt Romney to meet up with him. The bottom line is the status quo continues. His agenda continues, his czars continues, and the racial divide in America only gets worse. That's all I can tell you. Sorry, I was going to say that at the outset. I was going to have an optimistic viewpoint on things. But when I heard you, the most staunch Republican, say it could work out, I beg to differ. Sorry.
All right, you have a good day.
I talk to you. In the back of my mind, I know the Duff Man is agreeing with me. He's just showing more decorum than I am right now. You're on the air.